Hi everyone, welcome back to SwitchUp. Let's have a look at some games that are still to come in 2023 that we think are worth getting excited about.
Yep, absolutely. So we're going to be starting within, the next month really, going all the way through to December. And we've chosen to only pick games that have either a definite release date or are 100%, he says, confirmed for 2023.
All right, what games are coming? Well, let's find out. First up then, we've got Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, which is due to launch on the 27th of June.
Yep, so this particular game released back on the GameCube, I remember. It was Harvest Moon back then. This was before the name change. And it was a game that I bought day one, pretty much. And it was funny, just to tell a story for a moment, but I had Friends of Mineral Town on the Game Boy Advance, and I've said before, that was the game that got me back into gaming. Loved that game. And then obviously this new one came out for the GameCube, and I'd only bought a GameCube for the Resident Evil remake. So I had very few games. I was like, oh, new Harvest Moon game, I'm definitely getting that. And I bought it, and because it had shifted to 3D, I really found it difficult to get on board with. But because so many farming sims are 3D these days, and I've got used to it, I'm really looking forward to going back and trying this game with a new mindset, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. It does look like it encapsulates basically all of the classic elements, right?
Yes, yeah, and back in the day it did also have a way that you could connect it to Friends of Mineral Town, and if you did that, there was like a traveller that turned up in your new town and sold you items you couldn't get any other way.
Nice.
And because that game's also been remade and is on the Switch, I'd be interested to see if it recognises you have save data and does something similar.
Lovely. Wait for Glen's review of that one. So next up, we've got Master Detective Archives Raincode, which is due to release on the 30th of June. Now, I'm not familiar with the series, but it's part of the Danganronpa series.
Yeah, it's from the people behind that series, isn't it?
Right, okay.
Danganronpa, which is a series that I want to get into, actually. I've bought, there's like a 4-pack on the Switch of a few of the games, well, 4 of them, funny enough, that I have bought and I do want to play. So it'd be interesting to see how this connects to it.
It's giving me real Persona vibes.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that by the screenshots, doesn't it?
So it looks like it's a fully 3D city, and you're essentially a master detective who's risen up to try and solve some of the crimes that are going on under the overseeing gaze of this mega corporation.
Sounds a bit like AI, the Somnium Files in that respect. Maybe a bit of a hybrid of those two styles, you know?
Yeah, and you enter a mysterious labyrinth, apparently.
Yeah.
Persona, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That one is out, if you didn't say so, on the 30th of June.
Poor Master of Amnesia figures out he's got a job to do as a detective and heads for Kanai War.
Okay, next up then, also out on the same day, never a good idea, we've got Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which I know you've played before, Glen.
I have, yeah. This was on the DS many years ago now, and I played it through to completion. Really did enjoy this game. It's from Capcom, and it tells the story of a detective who dies quite early on, and you basically become his ghost, and you're trying to solve your last case. But what's interesting about it is that you can possess a number of different objects, inanimate objects, and then use those to solve puzzles to then move the crime scene along. And sometimes you'll get it wrong and it will play out and something will happen, you know, someone will get killed and you'll have to rewind time and try again. Just a very interesting game, you know, something that maybe's been done more these days, but it really did work very well. And again, I'm just looking forward to revisiting it.
Brilliant. That's, looks good, that one. Looks interesting. Next up then, we have Oxenfree 2, which is called Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals.
Okay.
Yeah, and I personally loved the first game, and you not so much.
Not so much. I enjoyed it, but I played it because there's such a huge following for this game. Maybe that was part of the reason. Maybe I expected more than I got. I enjoyed the atmosphere, 100%. I thought it was very atmospheric. I liked the story, although I did get a bit confused towards the end. Maybe that's where the game lost me a little bit. But I am looking forward to seeing where they go with a sequel, to be honest.
Yeah, it had almost like that horror feel to it, but I wonder if they'll go to the nth degree now, you know? It has that Donnie Darko vibe.
Yeah.
It's a bit unnerving.
Yeah, maybe. It was, because it was horror in the sense of that feeling and that atmosphere without ever going full on horror. And I appreciate that in games. I like it when games do that. I don't know, maybe it was out. My wife and I always play a game on New Year's Eve every year, and this was one of our New Year's Eve games many years ago. And yeah, maybe it just wasn't what we were expecting at the time. Maybe I should go back and play it, actually.
You should.
Yeah.
So this one's set 5 years after the events of that game, where Riley returns to her hometown of Kamina to investigate mysterious radio signals, apparently. She gets more than she bargained for. There's a surprise. When if she went and investigated him, it turns out it's just an episode of, what was the old radio show that people listened to? The Borrowers.
Yeah, The Borrowers, or War of the Worlds. That was
in the credits roll.
That would be an interesting take for them, direction for them to go in, but yeah, we'll see.
All right, next up then, coming out on the 21st of July, the very, very highly looked forward to Pikmin 4.
Yeah, this is my most anticipated game of the year, more so than Zelda. Obviously, that's out now, but I love the Pikmin series, always have done. I spoke about the GameCube a minute ago. Funnily enough, one of the few games I did pick up for that console was Pikmin. The original Pikmin just looked so incredibly different to everything else that came at that time, you know? And I love seeing the series progress. Obviously, you've got 2 on the GameCube, 3 on the Wii U, and it's been a long time waiting for 4.
Quiz. Guess who's never played Pikmin?
Would it be you?
That would be me. Yeah.
No, it's well worth playing. It's such a... I love that idea of having small creatures in an overgrown world that's basically, you know, your back garden. Do you know what I mean? It goes all the way back to playing with Green Army soldiers back in the day, you know? And the Pikmin series is just so incredibly charming. It's another one my wife likes, so it's a game we can play together. Yeah, looking forward to this one.
Green. Army.
So...
All right, next up then we've got Disney's Illusion Island, which is due to launch on the 28th of July. And for me, this is Disney's answer to Cuphead. Yeah,
I can see where you're going with that. Obviously the Illusion series has gone on for a while, Castle of Illusion and what have you. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out in terms of those older games, whether it is a true carrying on of that series or if it's just using, you know, the name to some degree. I do like the art style. What I will say is it doesn't grab me as much as when I first saw it. When I first saw it, it looked like that classic 1940s, 1950s Disney style. Having seen it now, it looks like very much a modern take on what that did look like, rather than looking like it. Just looks a bit of an imitation, which has put me off slightly, but I'm still looking forward to it.
See, I'm really looking forward to it because I really enjoyed the Rayman 4-player platformer.
Yeah.
I thought it was incredible.
Yep.
And this has that 4-player co-op. Now, the storyline this time around is that Mickey and friends are on a quest to explore the mysterious island of Month.
Okay.
And recover 3 mystical books.
Okay.
So there you go. To save the world. There's a surprise.
Oh, well, Mickey's good for it, isn't he? He knows what he's doing. He's been around a long time.
He is. By now, he should have a really deep voice, though, but he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. It's a shame. Do you know who I feel sorry for?
Who?
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And if your answer is who...
I was going to say who again.
Exactly. He was the mascot, Disney's mascot.
Right.
And then Mickey come along, giving it large, Steamboat Willie. And before you know it, Oswald is on the scrap heap, isn't he? Never been seen again.
This is where we cut to Oswald, who's like cigar in one hand, like really washed up apartment. Like he's got a little poster of Mickey with a dart in it.
Yeah, getting job offers for like Channel 5. He's like, I'm not that bad.
Now, do you know who I was?
I'm Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, damn it.
They laugh at him and hang up, listening to the dial tone.
Yeah, that got dark.
It really did.
Yeah.
Allies and dangerous foes. Study their movements carefully to figure out the secrets to victory. Join Mickey.
Right, next game then. On the 29th of August, we have Sea of Stars.
Yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to this. It obviously has a lot of the pedigree who designed the Trinity series? Trigger series. I'm thinking of Trinity Trigger. The Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, that series.
Yeah, the 2 games, yeah. I mean, this is very much Trigger, isn't it? Chrono Trigger. In terms of its inspiration, for sure. And this has had a demo that's been out for quite a while now, hasn't it? Yeah. Which they've actually patched, funny enough.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've played the demo already, they've actually patched the demo. So they've tweaked some of the mechanics, and the performance is also better than it was. And I like to see that, to be honest, because I do feel like some of the mechanics in the demo weren't quite right for me. So I'm interested. The combat's quite cool. Obviously, you're attacking, but it gives you above the enemy's head a list of essentially attack targets or attack things to do to get it to stagger and stuff like that. Just tries to keep that turn-based combat a little more interesting in it, and it means you straight away, as soon as you jump in, you know what you've got to do rather than just spamming them until you find a weakness.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one is out on the 29th of August, and it looks absolutely glorious, doesn't it? I think this is going to sell like absolute hotcakes.
I think it's going to do very well. Yeah, you're not wrong. Right, next then we have Blasphemous 2. Now this I don't think has a clear release date as of yet.
No.
Expected to be Q3 of 2023, and the first Blasphemous game really does have a following. It's a game that kind of blew some people away, didn't it?
Yeah, it's funny actually, because I would have loved to have reviewed this. You actually reviewed this. And even as someone that doesn't necessarily like Souls games and that style of, a bit too obscure at times.
Yeah.
You still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Really enjoyed it. Had a lovely art style. Really captured that kind of gothic feeling very, very well. As you say, it has that kind of Souls-like feeling to it in terms of when you die, the remnants of you will be left behind. You have to go and get it later and all that sort of stuff. I didn't always feel that meshed brilliantly with a Metroidvania, but I could appreciate it for what it was, what it was trying to do.
Yeah, for those looking forward to this one, I think you'll be pleased to know that the whole thing is set within a brand new world. So it doesn't reuse any of the old world. This is all a brand new, fully created world. Next up then, I think it's one that caught both of our eyes. I think it was in a direct or something they showed it.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And it's called the PLUCKY Squire, which looks to be like, an adventure platformer, but it's set within a book, or you leave the book to go into the 3D world?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And again, just anything quirky like that catches my attention. The idea of characters leaving the storybook or having characters resemble their kind of 2D storybook interpretations, I think we actually put this in our anticipated games for 2023 at the end of 2022.
Yeah.
So it's one that we've kept an eye on, and I don't believe this has a firm release date yet. This year is as much as we know, but this is, definitely a bit of maybe a sleeper game.
It looks like you say, with the old storytelling, you're essentially, you're in your book, and then you're kicked out by the villain. That's cool, isn't it?
Very cool, into the real world.
Yeah, really like that.
Helping the helpless. And generally being very...
Next up then we have Hogwarts Legacy, which obviously has been out for a while. I've played a chunk of this already on PC, but the Switch version just kept getting delayed, and it's now not coming out till November the 14th of 2023. So we're looking right before Christmas, which I'm sure is a calculated decision.
Yeah, but it does maybe run the risk of people having not forgotten about it necessarily, but the hype dying down by then. Do you know what I mean? I think the PS4 version only recently came out.
Yeah.
Didn't it? So to have maybe had it come out in and around the same time, you still got that hype. Yeah, November's a long way away, isn't it?
It's a long way away, and as far as Harry Potter goes, it's quite an adult game. You look at the Switch, most adults that wanted to play it, I think, would have found a way of playing it by now.
Especially now the
by
PS4
then.
versions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
PS4 version, the PS5, the Xbox version, the PC, it's everywhere. It's on the Steam Deck, that's where I played it, and it runs fine. So are you going to wait till November for an inferior version? Maybe you are. It's Harry Potter. I'm sure it will sell.
I mean, again, the portable nature of it, unless you own a Steam Deck, of course, I'm sure will be a selling point. But I'll be interested to see how it runs, because a friend of the channels, he bought it recently for the PS4, and he sent me a video on his phone of basically one of the characters gets stuck in the floor. So, yeah, we'll see how it runs on the Switch.
And it wasn't much better, to be fair, on the Steam Deck when it came out.
Oh, wow. Well,
it was struggling. But yeah, I just don't see it. It'll have to be a perfect port. It will have to be like a Witcher level. I know that looks a bit blurry, but in terms of performance, it will have to be that level to get the sales. If it's Pokemon, then they're screwed.
Yeah, that's true. The only one maybe that isn't nailed on for 2023, but let's hope so, is Silksong.
Oh, it's coming out, boy.
We'll see.
It's coming out, but obviously, as Glen says, they just released a tweet, the developers saying, the game was delayed. It was originally planned, they were planning to release it early 2023. We knew from the Xbox Game Pass showcase that was then a June, definitely by June, but it sounds like not even that's going to hold anymore, which is, it's difficult. Honestly, I wish they there's two options. You either talk about it or you say nothing.
Yeah.
Because if you start to talk about it and then Microsoft are saying how this is happening and get everyone's hypes up and then you say it's not happening, there's a lot of goodwill for Team Cherry, like so much. But there's only so much. You know, there has to be a finite amount where they're going to start to put a couple of people's backs out.
Yeah.
What they could do now that there is information out is just release a regular blog post. Just say, hey, look, this is where we're at. I don't think that would cost them much time, and it would just be really nice for the community. So for me, I mean, I'm getting a little bit frustrated, you know, with these constant updates that change and then nothing for years. And I mean, it was 2019 when we played this, right?
Yeah, it was at EGX, wasn't it, in London? It is weird because I remember us, again, talking about this in the end of 2022 video we did of a similar ilk. And I remember saying to you, know, if it comes out, and you said, no, you've got that June release, you know, Game Pass, they can't change that date.
Yeah.
It's locked in, and they've changed it. So, yeah, this is the one on this list that I can see getting pushed back. But, you know, what do I know? We'll see.
I just want to add in Mineko's Night Market. Now, I've been watching this for years and years, and I just love the concept. Now, I am a bit of a cat person.
Yeah.
I know you're not necessarily a cat person because they are essentially just freeloaders who scratch you.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I have kids to do that.
Exactly. Fact. But this, I love the concept of it. I love the art style. Something about it, you know, like when I first saw Stardew Valley, there was something about it. I was like, I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
I feel like it about this one. I've got nothing else really to say about it other than it's one that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. There's not a lot to say, is there? Because it's one that went quiet, like dead quiet, silent for ages, and then has had a little glimmer of, oh, remember this, you know. So just one to be aware of, I guess.
So that's it. These are quite a few games, I think about 11 that are coming out in 2023 that we think are still worth getting excited for. What games are you looking forward to? Let us know in the comments.
Absolutely. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick up any game that's on there, of course, then you can buy your eShop credit via our website, SwitchUp.gg. You will earn yourself SwitchUp tokens that you can then redeem against future purchases. And of course, when you download the game onto the Switch, you still get your Nintendo coins as well.
Brilliant. Thanks to everyone. Cheers for watching.
Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.